All right, good morning, everyone. We'll go ahead and get started with Coach Traylor. JJ.
Jeff, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, JJ. I appreciate y'all being here.
Well, how big was that 21-point comeback for your guys on the team? Just can you try and, after a few days digesting it, explain how big it was to the guys?
Yeah, it was all planned. We were trying to get some more national attention for the 2-1-0, so we just tried to get it, 21-0. Call timeout with 2 seconds left, for the game winner to get some more 2-1-0. It's all a big plan. I never let the facts get in the way of a good story, right, JJ? It's just the epitome of our culture. I mean, you got to see it in live and in person. Down 21-0. I've made jokes about it. The fan base was great. They were rocking it back there, and they had the old "Jeff, you suck" chant going. And I told my defense I was supposed to go get me a sweet tea, jump up in the stands, and start joining the chant that they didn't start playing better. And we just kept our head down, tried to win the very next play, and just keep stacking one great play on top of another great play. Try to get the lead down to at least one score in the fourth quarter. And we just felt like as many kids as we play and as hard as we play, eventually they would crack. And the hit Kelechi put on the running back, that wasn't just so much that hit. It was all the hits. It was the hit in the first quarter, the hit in the second quarter, hitting in the third quarter, and it just started showing up in the fourth quarter.
Jeff, one of the plays I wanted to ask you about was Clarence Hicks' strip sack. Just what did that do? That was a key moment in the game, and just overall how Clarence has played these last few games.
Yeah, we teased Clarence all offseason. We got into the quarterback last year numerous times, and I don't know that he hardly had any sacks last year. He led the team in missed sacks. So he's really worked hard at finishing the play this year. He's always been great at getting there, but he's added enough girth to his body and strength to his body that can get. I think JJ, no, it's still frozen. I see Greg moving. Yeah, let's see what's going on. JJ's moving now. You back, JJ?
It sounds like you guys are back.
All right.
I guess if you could just touch on Clarence again.
Yeah, just his ability. He's added some girth. He's just stronger. He's always been great at getting to the quarterback, but now his ability to finish. I'm just mad at Lorenzo for not getting it all the way in the end zone. That was the most stressful 4-play, 7-yard drive in the history of the program.
Okay, Greg.
Jeff, you mentioned how early in the game the players had to kind of adjust to Memphis's team speed, and it was also the first time that you guys were behind in a game. Are there things you can take from that experience of facing those things for the first time that help you guys grow and you can carry that forward?
No doubt. I believe just that. Now, we've built on that in the past. We were down to Louisiana Tech. We were down to UAB. We were down to BYU. We were down to Louisiana Lafayette, 17. That's not our first time. Our kids just don't go away. They just won't. And it's an epitome of their conviction to the triangle. They really do believe in trusting the process, control what we can control, play the next play. And we had 4 players I thought that had that look in their eye like, I'm not sure. But the other, 76 that traveled, they just wouldn't let them go there. They were too strong of leaders. Our single-digit guys really stepped up in their leadership ability. You could hear our players. JJ was on the sideline. You could hear them just empowering each other to keep playing. We never had that look in our eye like we were going to go away.
Did maybe that early fumble that Memphis was able to recover for the 7-0 lead, did that kind of compound a little bit, or how did it extend to 21-0 from there? Was it just the speed and those other things you talked about? I
do think the penalty on the first play got in our heads. If you go back and watch that play carefully, that shook us up. Now it's 1st and 25. We didn't practice 1st and 25 coming out of our own end zone this week. I got to add that on my list of things to review with Coach Lunny. So you're already spinning there a little bit, and I could tell what Frank was doing. He saw the jack linebacker coming from the boundary. he was fixing to pull the ball, and he never caught the ball. Right? It's just back to the process again. You know, you got to just focus on what's right at hand. And, you know, he made a mistake, but just like he did in Louisiana Lafayette, he had a big mistake and he battled back. And Frank's like a snake. Every time you think you're going to kill him, he just keeps coming back. I mean, he just won't go away. Snake, cat, whatever you want to call him. He got 9 lives. Frank just keeps battling. The play he made to Dan Dishman where we turned the wheel linebacker loose and he stood right in the fire and never blinked. I don't know that Frank Harris that I coached when I first got here would have done that. And I'm so proud of his. He made so many plays. How about the play he made when the ball was snapped over his head? And he had the presence to get it, then avoid the guy, and then a hard throw to throw it past the line of scrimmage. So we got back to a third down that was manageable. And I believe we got the first down on that drive.
Sam?
Jeff, when you look at what it took to win Saturday, how much of that foundation has come from the older guys that you have on this roster and just the buy-in that they have shown from day one?
I couldn't agree more, Sam. It's all of it. It's every bit of it. When you're on the road in that hostile environment, the temperature was hot, the turf was hot, the environment was hot. There was nothing going our way. And it doesn't matter. I can do all these words and we could talk about integrity and passion and mental. If those kids don't do it, it's a player-led team. It's the players. It's not me. I'm just a tool that the Lord has used to put here. It's those players that have bought into this coaching staff, our strength staff. You know, they've just been fantastic since day one. And I know I say it all the time, but I'm the luckiest man in the world to get to coach these kids every day, whether they lose or win. Y'all know me well. I'm not going to change. It's unconditional love from me, and those kids know that it's not conditional. They're the same. If Hunter misses that kick, he's still the same Hunter Duplessis. He's one of the greatest individuals I've ever coached in my life, and we're just not going to go away. We believe in each other too much. We do need help. We want to be like Memphis. We want this thing to last, Sam. We don't want to be just a flash in the pan, one great team. So we need help, whether it's a like on Twitter, whether it's getting a ticket and getting your tail to the game Saturday, or you have the ability to write large checks, whatever that is. We're to be where we all want to be. And this city deserves it, and this university deserves it, and these kids deserve it. It's going to take all of us. And there are people in San Antonio looking to help a good cause. And these kids are a great cause.
And I know you joked at the top about national attention, but those wins against Illinois and Memphis have gotten people's attention across the country. And I know everything starts with San Antonio for you guys, but for people who are just going to start tuning in now because they know you guys are a successful football program, what do you want people outside of San Antonio to know about this program? What
the 2-1-0 triangle of toughness really is, we do it right. We take care of our kids. We coach them hard, but we love them harder. We're an old school, corny version of college football. And we're not perfect by any means, Sam, but we love our kids. We're very, very proud of the state of Texas. We want this to be a representation of the Texas High School Coaches Association and what those guys are about. We've got 7 Texas high school coaches on the staff. We've got 29 local 2-1-0 players now. We've signed 100% Texas high school football players since we've been here. Now, we've got some great players from other states. And if we have a connection to those other states that we know these people very well, we'll take them in a heartbeat. But our commitments to San Antonio and Texas working our way out and doing things right. And we feel like we do that, we'll be fine. It's a great job. It's a great job. It's a special place. We're just young and we got to grow some things. But I know this, Sam, we're a lot closer today than we were yesterday.
Hector?
Coach, good morning, Coach.
Hi, Hector. How are you, man?
I'm doing well, Coach. Want to get your thoughts on the votes in both polls, national polls.
That's what I've got you all for. I mean, I need you out there beating the drum for us. We're not going to pay attention to it. The culture pillar of the week is trust the process, which to us, that means control the controllables. I'm not one of the 65 coaches allowed to vote. I'm not an AP vote writer. So why would I even be concerned about that? What can I do today? We can encourage our kids to be the best study hall guys in the world, the best academians today, Hector, and go watch video so we can keep winning ball games. That's how you get ranked. You got to go win ball games. How do you win ball games? You win the day. You win the play. And I know y'all get tired of my corny answers. They're always the same, but we're not going to go there. If we do all that, Hector, we'll start eating that cheese and this thing will be over in a heartbeat.
Well, Coach, you led me to my next question because I was going to ask, what does it say about your program and this year's team specifically that they get 4 votes in the AP, 11 votes in the coaches poll, and instead of having to warn against eating the cheese, it's a little bit of, hold on, just 4 votes? Hold on, so just your thoughts there on where you guys are regarding that notoriety and the respect that I think a lot of folks think you deserve.
I need y'all to keep beating that drum because you know how our kids are. You tell them they can't do something, and they go and do it. So I need y'all to ask them that in their interviews to keep poking that bear, and let's keep motivating these young men so we'll go out there and have a great practice. We practice great. We're going to play better. And I don't know what happened in that first quarter. Those are about the worst offensive plays in the first quarter. I believe I looked up, and y'all have to correct me. I think it said we had minus 10 yards after the first quarter and maybe 10 yards passing a flat 0. I don't know that's ever happened in my entire career, but what a way to welcome us to ESPN this year.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
JJ?
Jeff, I wanted to go back to what you said a minute ago, and you mentioned it after the game about UTSA being a special place. So what do you mean by that in a big picture?
Just the people. They're just such good people. I know I'm going to blow a little smoke up JJ here, but there are a lot of JJs out there. They're just good humans that really want San Antonio to be what we all know it should be. We want this university to be what we know it should be. We've got great kids. It's just a neat place. It's just a very multicultural city with a bunch of humble, good people that deserve a great sports program to cheer for. And I know we have the Spurs, we've got other things, but man, this is the state of Texas. This is a football state. And I love hoops as much as anybody, but we need to get this thing going. It could be very, very special, something we could all talk about and drink sweet tea and laugh about and talk about the memories and the players that we've come through this program. And I want it to last, JJ. I don't want to be a flash in the pan. I want this thing to be something that every single year, sports writers, fan base, high school coaches, they're excited about our team and what we're going to look like this year. And we have that potential to do that.
You also said something after the game, like you just wanted to be a small part of that. But do you kind of sense the fan base has rallied around you and your team and how you've turned the tide here and that there's a lot of excitement out there? Do you feel that?
The first time ever I felt it Saturday. We had people at the airport. That's never happened. We had fans lined up, cars honking, birds up, signs. We get back to the race facility, more fans, cars honking, people going crazy. I'm driving home, people on the side of the road, cars honking, fans. That's never happened since I've been here. I've been a part of that happening before. I watched a small high school town completely flip and start passing school bonds and building new stadiums and older people donating scholarships and people start investing in children because people want to help. They want to be a part of something large. All of us want to be a part of something larger than ourselves. Family's more fun. I like my quiet time too, but I love being around my friends. I love being around my family. And I can just sense this city is starting to go, I really think these guys are legit. I can feel that. And I hope it shows Saturday at the Alamo Dome. If not, we can't control it, JJ. We're just going to keep chopping wood, try to win the day. And but I do feel a sense of energy that I've not felt since I've been here since December 9, 2019.
Greg?
Jeff, along those same lines, with the success that the program's having and all that energy you feel, is there anything you can or will do to engage new fans or to translate that into attendance or fundraising, or do you just kind of have to focus on the wins and that stuff happens, separately?
No, I haven't said no to anybody yet. I went to a fundraiser last Monday night. I'm going to be at the soccer games. I'm going to be whatever I can do. President Amy's made it very clear we are the front porch of the university. And I understand that I have a very important role of being that figurehead for people to see. We passed out pizza at the last home game. Whataburger's already hit us up. They want to donate some taquitos. We're passing out taquitos, I think, Wednesday morning at 10. So today's Monday. So 2 more days, I'll be out on the campus. My coaches will be out there doing that. I had to be smart, JJ. Greg, I apologize. Y'all are like twins. I had to be smart because I only have so much time. And I've got to major in the majors. I can't major in the minors. So the majority of my time has to be on UNLV and my players. But my lunch breaks, those kind of deals where I'm getting a workout in, I'm going to give up some of that for people when they ask for stuff because our kids deserve it. And the hard part's the first few years, Greg. It's the first few years. Once you get it going, it's a snowball. It just gets going and you can't stop it. But it's like the analogy of getting a jet off the ground. It takes so much power and so much force to get a program off the ground. But once you get it going, it's like when you hit the top of that plane, when you're up there and they tell you to take a seatbelt off, it's just smooth. And we're not there. We're a long ways. We are a jet trying to get off the ground. But that win Saturday helps you get the jet off the ground a lot quicker.
Sam?
Just curious, what's your taquito preference?
I'm pretty simple. You just throw me some bacon and some eggs in there. Any kind of, salsa. I'm going to put so much salsa on it. It's not going to matter. See how much better I've gotten, JJ? I said hot salsa December 9th. Now I'm dropping the salsa. So no more Twitter hate for me calling it hot salsa.
On an unrelated note, last week the Division I Council recommended adding 7, replacement counters for guys that transfer to the initial 25. I know this still has to be approved, but I'm curious if this goes through, knowing how you have built your roster, how do you think it will help coaches and your program in particular?
I haven't spent much time thinking about it, Sam. I'm just going to wait and see how it turns out. It'll change it a little bit. Obviously, there's minuses and there's pluses to that rule. And I've gone back and forth on which way to vote on that rule, honestly. So I do feel strongly if we're going to give the kids that much leeway to leave, we've got to be able to fix our rosters pretty quick because you know how it is. When they find out they're not the starter, they're probably going to go somewhere where some other coaches tell them they're going to be the starter. And then they're going to get there and realize that coach probably misled them and they're still competing for a job. No one's just going to hand you a job. You got to go win the job. So I'm for any rule. If we're going to let kids have that much just ability to leave, we had to be able to fix our roster. So I think it'll help, but I haven't thought about it a ton.
Greg?
Jeff, we've talked week after week about the challenge of keeping a level head and don't eat the cheese and all that sort of thing. Does that get harder and harder with each win, or are the players just kind of in a groove where that's not really something that's as much of a concern anymore?
This week will be the hardest because common sense will tell you we're 4-0, they're 0-4. But then you study their roster. They've got really good players. Their head coach is a really good head coach. He's a good human. You could tell by the way those guys are playing right now. And then let's look at their schedule. Strength of schedule. What would our record be? I don't know. Arizona State, Iowa State, Fresno State, 3 top 25 teams. Eastern Washington, an FCS powerhouse. I don't know what our record would be either, Greg. So it's very misleading that they're 0-4. And they had the lead on Fresno Friday night. And I watched that game up in my hotel room while JJ was out on Bill Street having a good time. I was still working, right, Greg? So I have a lot of confidence that this team of mine will believe me. I don't lie to them. I told them we were better than Illinois. I told them we were way better than Lamar. I told them Memphis was faster than us, and none of them wanted to listen to y'all say it, and none of them wanted to hear me say it. But everybody on this screen, and even my players might not admit it, they know I told them the truth. Those guys were faster than we were. So I always tell them the truth. So I think they'll trust me this time. We're going to have a good game on our hands Saturday at 5 o'clock in the Alamo Dome.
Do you have any interesting ways to drive that point home? I know we've seen all the different cheese printouts around the facility. Do you have anything else cooked up for this week?
I teased them yesterday. I said, if I need to go buy another 120 rat traps and put them in your lockers. If y'all need me to drink a whole gallon of queso to prove what that will do to a human, I will do whatever it takes to get their attention. I think they believe me. When we turn the video on and we start watching their athletes, they'll understand these guys have really good athletes, and they're well coached. They're a pro-like team. It's where Marcus comes from. The defensive coordinator has a pro background. They're sophisticated. They do a lot of schemes, and they'll give us all we can handle Saturday. It's going to be a heck of a ball game.
JJ.
Jeff, your offensive line was pretty decimated. I think that's the correct word there. What can you tell us about that group?
Well, we lost Makai early. Then we lost Kevin, our right guard. Maka made it. We had to move Terrell Haynes around just to get some stuff done at left guard. Our left tackle's been out. We've had our starting five for 7 snaps the entire year, the first 7 snaps of the season, and we haven't had them since. So we had 4 go down in the game. When the last one went down, I asked Coach Max who we had left, and we were down to our true freshman, Ronnie Garza, was fixing to go out there and get going again. And Ronnie would have done fine, but Nick's got his work cut out for him this week, JJ. We need to get some of those guys back. It's hard to get continuity. There's a lot of times, like, I don't know if you remember, we had a post route come wide open, and Frank was fixing to drop it in there for a touchdown. We got a sack. So it's so frustrating, just communication up there. They run a stunt. JJ, you might not have worked that week. If you had the same 5 up there, they have been together so long, they've seen that stunt before. When you're switching people around and they run a stunt you haven't worked on exactly, it usually shows up. And I know the fan base is like, well, you should have worked on that. Well, there's a million ways you can put 11 people in those gaps. So it's hard. It's hard to work every one of them in a week. So that's what hurts, the cumulative effect you lose of not having them with that spaced repetition time over time at a time. And I don't know when that's going to happen to get those 5 guys back together. But whoever we have, I know this, JJ, they'll show up and play hard for me, say.
Greg.
Jeff, do any of those look like multi-week injuries at this point, or is there a chance we could see something close to the normal group if everybody's recovery goes well?
Still waiting on x-rays on one of them. The other one would be questionable. The other one depends on a process we got to go through this week. I would say questionable on all 4, and we'll know more today.
How about Sincere McCormick coming back yesterday after the 42 carries? How is he feeling? How has he held up through that kind of workload?
Yeah, he's mad he didn't get 40 more carries. I mean, I've never seen anything like him. I talked to our team about him yesterday. Man, you need to take those kind of kids. You just can't take them for granted. Those are special people that can carry the ball 42 times. And it's the way he does it. He never has an easy run. He's always in there striking somebody. I mean, he's the best 4.5-yard runner in college football. I mean, he's special. And Brendan Bray went out there and ran the ball hard as well and made a great throw, back shoulder throw to Zakari. So really proud of Sincere. We all need to really appreciate that. There'll be a day we'll look back and kind of what LaDainian Tomlinson did for TCU. We'll probably all look back and go, you know what? Sincere McCormick did that for our university. Kind of what Ricky Williams did for Mac Brown at Texas back in 1999. I think there'll be a day we'll all look back and go, what Sincere did for our program.
You mentioned that he's really kind of had to grind out his yardage being the best 4.5-yard rusher in the country. Is there a reason that he hasn't been able to get loose for the big one like we saw a few times last year?
Everybody's just so focused on him. And we played 3 really good defenses. I mean, Memphis is a very good defense. Illinois, who just continues to play great defense. Week after week, they play great defense. And then Middle Tennessee's got a really good defense. I think that matters, the focus on him right now. And we played some very, very good safeties that have come up and done a great job tackling.
I think after the game he mentioned a thing called USTA, and then I saw that from a couple of the other guys on Twitter. Was that something that came up or that you noticed somewhere and that became a point of motivation for you all?
Yeah, that's why you guys are very important. I need y'all to always tell the other team how great they are and how bad we are. Memphis, their guys did a live interview with me. And, they called us UTSA numerous times. So I got Kyle to tape it for us, and we listened to it every day. We called ourselves the United States Tennis Association the entire week. That was our team. And that's what we did. We went on the field, and we looked like the United States Tennis Association for a quarter. And then we were UTSA the last 3.
Anything else for Coach Traylor? All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Jeff.
What's up?
Thanks, Jeff.